Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is John, or Last Frontier Bricks, and this is my review of the LEGO Star Wars Home 1 Starcruiser, part of the Starship Collection. It is set number 75405, comes with 559 pieces, retails for $70, and just got released on New Year's Day 2025. I gotta admit, I'm actually quite happy that this set became a reality because if you guys watched my review on the Executor Super Star Destroyer, link in the top right corner of the screen and in the description of this video, uh, at the end of that video, when I was listing off a bunch of ships I could see be added to the Starship Collection, this was one of the ships that I mentioned, and that was before leaks about this guy even started showing up. So technically, I accidentally predicted a Lego set. Plus, I thought this would be a great addition to the Starship Collection due to two reasons. It's not as well known as or iconic as something as, say, for example, the Millennium Falcon or an Imperial Star Destroyer. Plus, anyone who's done any custom building with Lego knows how difficult it is to get any sort of curvature out of the Lego bricks. With them mainly being, square or rectangular, and with a bunch of sharp edges. Not a whole lot of natural curvature to Lego pieces. Plus, that curvature gets even harder to make as you build it bigger. So, with those two reasons, this thing probably is probably never going to get a UCS scale set, even if that sounds absolutely awesome. So, doing something like the Home 1 in the Starship collection is about as close as we're going to get to that. Anyway, the front of the box art looks absolutely fantastic, showing the set in all its glory with a nice green background, absolutely fitting and saying this thing first showed up in Return of the Jedi, and green does seem to be the color motif for Return of the Jedi, between the majority of the movie taking place is on Endor, plus Luke's new green lightsaber. Plus, I just love the fact that they went ahead and added a micro-scale Nebulon B frigate, similar to them adding the micro-scale Star Destroyers to that Super Star Destroyer. Plus, I love the head-on look of the ship that they have on the side. Taking a look at the back, you can see another view of the ship, along with its dimensions, with it being 13 inches or 33 centimeters long, and about 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters tall, with it on its stand. Plus, you get the image of the ship from Return of the Jedi. Actually, the very first time we ever see the ship over here in the bottom left corner. This box does have the push tabs to it, so you do have to damage the box to open it. Alright, let's see what we got in here. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 5 bags of parts, and 1 instruction manual with that same head-on look for this set. Although, much like with the Acclamator, which I just reviewed yesterday, once again, there will be a link in the top right corner of the screen and in the description of this video. The image looks more like just a straight up picture of the actual model instead of a CG render. Once again, we get an ad for paper bags in a set without paper bags, and an ad for the Lego Builder app. And once again, we get a UCS style introduction by the Lego Star Wars creative lead and design director. Again, I'm not going to try to say his actual name. I'm going to absolutely butcher that. And we get another page basically breaking down the ship again in its specs. Then we just go straight into the build. Oh, plus I like the fact that they mention all the let's see. Oh, where'd that go? There we go. I like the fact that they throw in a little note for the Easter eggs of this set in the instructions, so you know exactly what they are. Any any promotions for other sets. Nope, just have our completed model. And our list of parts, which from the looks of things is the only detail that isn't completely brick built is that the printed tile, the naming the ship, doesn't look like there's any other prints and no stickers in the set, which actually makes me rather happy. So we'll go ahead and jump into the time lapse of this build, starting right now. Alright, the build is done. I gotta say right off the bat, this thing's actually a bit bigger than what I thought it would be. I actually thought it would be more along this length, so there is a little bit more to it than I thought. I gotta say, all the curved pieces definitely help make home on the shape it's supposed to be. Like I said in the intro, is doing all the curve with all the curvature that goes into a home one or Mon Calamari ship in general is what would make it a bit difficult to make it in UCS scale, especially considering the bigger the model, the harder it is to get those curves into the model. So there's like a whole bunch of pieces in here, like these half oval pieces or the curved corners here, like in the hangers, that just didn't exist until a couple years ago. So they wouldn't have really been able to do it justice until now. Anyway, the thing looks absolutely fantastic. Again, I love all the curves in there. You got a couple of hangers here. You got a couple small hangers on the side here, and a larger one on the exact opposite side. And you got the correct number of engines, the 4 larger ones, and then the 3 pairs of engines. Even in the weird colorations like the tan, the dark red, and the bluish gray, even those are accurate to the Mon Calamari ships, including the multiple bridges. I love the fact that they use the minifigure ice skates for some of the smaller ones. One thing I wish could have been implemented, but I can understand though that wasn't due to the size, is that this whole section here, right here, and according to lore, that whole section can just pop right off and be a ship all by itself, or basically an oversized escape pod. So yeah, I really wish they could have implemented that. Yeah, but again, with the size and scale of this, I can understand why. Also, I love the fact that they added a micro-scale Nebulon B frigate to go alongside this thing, especially since technically a Nebulon B frigate is what brought the Starship scale or midi-scale back into LEGO with the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Nebulon B frigate build, the one that got released during COVID and whose release was absolutely a horde, since basically they were all bought up by scalpers and they just bought them up by the ton. But yeah, it's nice that they threw that in for a little bit of scale. Again, the only print for this ship, for this set, is the plaque here with the LEGO Star Wars logo and the Home One Starcruiser. Although, much like a lot of these other Starship scale builds, there's a nice Easter egg in here. If you take off this side paneling here, It actually covers quite a bit of the ship, I must say. But that's due to how big the Easter egg is. Okay, didn't mean to quite take off that much. But then again, I might need to, I don't know. But you got a couple of sections of the ship inside. One on the left, you can see Admiral Akbar in his command chair. The one in the middle has a green A-wing, which might be an homage to the only other Home 1 Lego set there was, which technically it wasn't a ship. It wasn't the ship. It was a couple of rooms built, and as a playset. One was as the briefing room with the Death Star hologram, and the other one was a hangar with a green A-wing. So yeah, I think that might be a little homage to that. And then this last room here in the back, that's from the Ahsoka TV series with Ahsoka, Hera Syndulla, and I believe this is supposed to be R2. So yeah, nice little nice little Easter eggs there. Again, they've been doing Easter eggs with quite a few of these Starship scale sets. So I definitely enjoy it. Enjoy the consistency of that. But one thing I've been noticing is that as they bring out more of these models, they become a bit easier to access with quite a few of them. If I can just get this back on. One of the downsides of having to take off, half the wall for your model in order to access the Easter egg. So maybe this one isn't quite as easily accessible as I thought it was. There we go. Anyway, speaking of other Starship scale ships, I do have two others to bring over for a size comparison. First up, we have the other one that was released with Home 1. That is the Acclamator Assault Ship. You can check out my review on that one in the top left corner of the screen. In the tab in the top left corner of the screen. Right now. And then we got the other one, which is it's not only Home 1's competition in Return of the Jedi, but also the Starship scale ship that's closest to size and price, and that is the Super Star Destroyer. Again, the Acclamator was $50. The Super Star Destroyer $75. Home 170. So comparing it to the Acclamator, it does feel like it's worth more money than the Acclamator. Well, it's not quite as chunky as the Acclamator, at least not as wide. It's certainly longer. Plus, it beats it out by about 100 extra pieces. While plus it's $20 more expensive, with the Home 1 being $70 and the Acclamator $50. However, I feel like between Home 1 and Super Star Destroyer, the Super Star Destroyer is probably your better choice, as it beats Home 1 by piece count by again another 100. With Home 1 being 559 pieces, and I believe the Super Star Destroyer is 630, and again, it's only a $5 difference. But again, taking a look, it's still comparing to it's still, at least for length, it's still pretty good competition for the Super Star Destroyer. So, though I believe it's worth the $70, maybe not. Maybe not quite. I think I'm gonna go with the real argument. Oh, it would really be an argument for price. So I think it would be worth would be 65, maybe 60, if you're lucky. So, but yeah, it's a solid build. It looks fantastic. If you're a fan of Return of the Jedi or just the Rebel Alliance in general, I think you're gonna enjoy it. But again, and I'd see if you could not use some VIP points to knock the price down to 65 or 60. But other than that, I think this thing looks fantastic. I'm glad that they made this ship. And again, considering this ship isn't as iconic as something like a Millennium Falcon or a Star Destroyer, plus again, just the general shape of the ship where it's just loaded up with curves, which is difficult to build with Lego, this might be the best and maybe only way we can get the Home 1 as an actual ship instead of just a couple rooms as a playset. Don't get me wrong, I would absolutely love to see a Home 1 UCS set. I'd probably be the first in line to get it. I just don't see it happening, or at least not in the near future. At least not anytime soon. So yeah, this might be the best and only way to get a hold of it. So if you're a fan of this ship, I would absolutely pick it up. Anyway, that will be the end of this video. Thank you for joining me for it. If you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. Ring the bell to be notified of all my videos as soon as they become available. Check out my channel and some more of my content on the end screen in just a few seconds. And I will see you all in the next video. Later, everybody.